Hi everyone, my name is Michelle Musselwhite, registered dietitian with Atrium Health Pineville with the Cardiac and Pulmonary Rehab Program. I want to continue our discussion that we had the other day about balanced nutrition using some practical application with food models and real foods. So just going over a couple of different things. The other day we were talking about carbohydrates, proteins, and fats, what they did within the body, what their food sources are. So just to go over this again, if you look at that plate again, you've got a good balance of those nutrients so that you stay full for a longer period of time and help to control blood sugars, help with your weight. So here we've got some salmon or fish to serve as our protein. It also serves as a source of fat, and we're keeping our protein about the size of the palm of the hand. And then right here we've got some brown rice. This is our carbohydrate source, high fiber, lots of vitamins and minerals, and we're trying to keep that portion about the quarter of your plate or size of your fist. And then right here we've got some low starch or low carbohydrate type vegetables. These are going to be great. We can put them in our meals cooked, we can put them in our meals raw, or a combination of the two. Just make sure you're not putting on a lot of salad dressing or breading and deep fat frying them for those vegetables. So one of the big key things with looking at your current recipes is, do you have vegetables present there? Is it heavy in the protein? Is it heavy in the starch? You can always shrink the portion of the starch for that meal, shrink the size of that meat portion that you put on your plate, and then add some vegetables to that meal. So it's a quick fix to convert some of your current recipes so that they're well balanced and not just all about the meat and the starch. Looking at your breakfast, one thing that you can do here, we've got some protein right here with our eggs. So we've got protein with the egg white. We do have a source of fat within the egg yolk. We have a piece of whole grain toast, which is a source of carbohydrate. And then right here, we've got some blackberries. So this is also going to be a source of carbohydrate. You can add a little bit more fat, not as much as what I've got right here. This is just my food model, but you can lightly brush your piece of toast with a little bit of the olive oil. It gives it sort of a nutty flavor. Or if you're going to use a spread, then just make sure that your spread doesn't have any of those hydrogenated oils in there. I did want to show you another couple combinations here. So when we're looking at this meal, you can also add in some beans or peas or lentils. So this will be a source of plant protein, high fiber, but also going to be a source of carbohydrate. So do keep that in mind. So you can add them in. You can also do a vegetarian meal, so no animal protein, just basing it off of our plant protein and then a little bit of carbohydrate. So we have our beans, which is serving as our carb and our protein, and we have our brown rice serving as our carbs, and then the vegetables and everything. You can also use this concept when you're thinking about your snacks. So this is Greek yogurt. You can use Greek yogurt. Try and get the low sugar Greek yogurt possible. If you want to add a little protein in there and also make sure that you have some good fats, you can throw some nuts in here, and that'll also give it just a little bit of crunch and everything for a snack. You can also do something as simple as apple slices and a tablespoon or two of peanut butter. So a fruit here, this apple, will serve as your carbohydrate, and then the peanut butter is going to serve as your protein and fat. I don't want to forget our beverages. Our best beverage is going to be water. So this is a standard size water bottle. So trying to get about 3 to 4 bottles of water in throughout the day, not all at one time, but throughout the day. And if your doctor has put you on a fluid restriction, make sure you're following that guidance. So 3 to 4 to start with, but if your doctor has put you on a restriction, you need to follow those instructions. And be careful about the sugar beverages. So this is Coca-Cola. We want you to be careful not to be putting a lot of this in our meal plan. This bottle is about 16.9 ounces, and it's got about 14 teaspoons of refined sugar in there. The only purpose this will serve is, yes, it tastes good, but it will increase our weight quickly. It will increase our blood sugars, increases the triglyceride level. So be careful about drinking a lot of sugary beverages. All right, so let's talk about some quick little recipes that we can do to help make sure we're incorporating some carbs, some proteins, and fats. So we'll start today with breakfast and everything. So right here, I've got some ingredients. I'm going to make some overnight oatmeal. So make sure that you've got a container that's going to be big enough to hold all of your ingredients. And I'm going to start with my old-fashioned oatmeal. And this is just about a quarter a cup. So for me, I would only probably use about a quarter of a cup of these oats. And then I'm going to put in my liquid. So this is some unsweetened vanilla almond milk that I'm going to put in here. Saves me on a little bit of carbs, saves me on some calories and everything. And then I'm going to put in some blueberries. And these are fresh blueberries. And I've just got about a quarter of a cup right here. So now I've added in about that fist size of carbohydrate. And I also want to make sure that I give it a little bit of extra flavor. So I like cinnamon, and I'm going to put in some cinnamon. And I'm just using about a quarter of a teaspoon of cinnamon in here. And about a quarter of a teaspoon of my vanilla. Both cinnamon and vanilla are actually going to help to not only give flavor, but it increases that flavor of sweet, if that is a flavor that you like. Just going to give this a quick stir right here. All right, so then I want to make sure that I add in some nuts. So my nuts are going to serve as a little bit of protein and a little bit of fat. So I've got that all in there and stirring that up. I want to make sure that my container does have an airtight lid to it and everything because I will be putting this in the refrigerator. So keep that in mind. So you're going to make sure that you seal that and put it in the refrigerator. So here it is right here. I'm going to put it in the refrigerator, typically overnight. You want to at least put it in for a couple of hours, maybe about 2 to 4 hours, but overnight would be great. And you can get that ready for yourself the night before. Now, once you've gotten to the next day and you are going to use the oatmeal, one thing you want to do is maybe garnish it a little bit. So I'm just going to put in here my blueberries. Okay, my blueberries and a little bit of Greek yogurt. And the Greek yogurt that I've used is just a low sugar vanilla Greek yogurt. I love vanilla Greek yogurt when I'm talking about my fresh berries and everything. So you can do that. It's really nice. It's creamy looking and everything. And all I have to do is take a little bit of a bite and I can get started with my breakfast. Get a little of that yogurt, a little of the blueberries, a little of that oatmeal. Delicious. Next up, we've got our breakfast burrito. So there you go there. Easy one. Make ahead. I've got a whole grain tortilla right here, and I also have my eggs. So make sure with your eggs, if you need a little bit of volume, what I did here when I scrambled up my eggs was I had one egg that's a whole egg, a regular large egg, and I added a few extra egg whites. So I've got a little flavor, I've got a little color in here, but I don't have all of that extra fat and everything, all that cholesterol. So keep that in mind. I'm also going to put some vegetables in here. So I've got some little cherub tomatoes. This is a great way to add in some vegetables to your breakfast. Most people don't think about adding vegetables to breakfast. So this would be a great way to do that. You can also do it with an omelet. And now we're going to have here our mushrooms. And I did cook my mushrooms ahead of time and everything. And we've got some spinach. And this is something that you could easily do as an assembly line. You could have a variety of different things. Be careful not to overstuff, and I may have put too much right there, and I'm actually now going to put a little bit more. I do like a little bit of cheese on here. Just sort of helps to hold things together once it melts. All right, so I'll have my cheese. And then what we'll need to do is roll everything. So that's one thing that we do need to make sure we can do. And I've got it already sitting on a piece of parchment paper because we will need that. All right, so tuck it, fold in my sides and everything. Oops. I do have way too much right here. Okay. All right, so there's my burrito. And then what I'm going to do is fold my parchment paper, because what I'm going to do is, this is a make-ahead breakfast, just like the oatmeal was. Tuck it in, do another roll. And then what I can do is, I've got a Ziploc bag right here. And what you'll want to do is make sure you label your burrito. So for my burrito, got my Sharpie right here. I've got spinach, mushroom, and tomato in there. So that way I know what I'm grabbing first thing in the morning. And I just put this in my Ziploc bag. I will have made a whole bunch of other ones, and then I can put it in my freezer, and the next day or maybe next week, I've got a quick breakfast that I can grab. So to reheat this, after I pulled it out of the freezer, I want to take it out of the bag, unwrap it. Now what I'm going to do is wrap it up in a damp paper towel, put it in my microwave for about 3 minutes, and then I've got a piping hot breakfast all ready to go. So something real quick to do, an easy, quick grab. Okay? All right, well, I hope you learned a lot, and I'll see you next time. Bye.